the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habarakani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Otten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, old flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving me this great laugh of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your lecturer today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That's worship, WARSHIP. We are located in the Chicago, in the Southside community of Chicago, Illinois. And currently our headquarters is based at 838 West Market Road in the Inglewood community of Chicago. Come and be fed by God's messengers. We always invite you to join us each and every Sunday at 12:30 here at 838 West Marquette Road, where you can come and be fed by God's messengers. You can learn more about the Toma Nation and the Temple of Mercy Association, and you can come join us. If you would like more information about this lecture or any of our previous lectures, or if you want to know when our next event is, always feel free to drop a comment if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, or you can shoot us a text message at 773-846-3091. Did I say that right? Yeah, 773-846-3091. The title of my lecture today is continuing upon the theme that we have had for this month, and it is titled The New Noose. If you have been following us on social media, you will recall that 2 weeks ago, the founder of the Toma Nation, Minister Raheem Kasset-Aten, did a lecture called Modern Day Lynching, where he connected the lynchings of Black people that are being ruled suicides. He connected the tsunami of guns in our community, and he connected all of those to what he referred to as modern day lynching. And I am going to continue that topic today, but mine's going to be a little bit different, but very similar, and it's called the new noose. And so when you hear the term, the new noose, what does that evoke in you? I want you to think about that. I'm going to do the opening before I open up my lecture, but while I'm doing the opening, I want you to think about those words, the new noose. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions of years, and he who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites as Amid-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, the Rastafari, and among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Olodumare, Ashu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born here in North America and are of the Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. All terms of peace in the languages of our forefathers. Peace. Now, when you think about the term, the new noose, and you break that down, and you look at the term noose. Now, see, people be playing around in their conversations on social media when we're having conversations about these lynchings, because the term noose is a sore spot for Black people all across America. And when I say a sore spot for Black people all across America, I don't just mean Black people in America. I mean Black people in America who are descended from our ancestors who were in chattel slavery here in America on the shores of the United States. Now, when you have conversations with family members about lynchings, or with our great grandmas, with our grandmas, and even some of our mothers who either were alive or especially remembering down south. We have a lot of family members who are from Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, New Orleans, North Carolina, South Carolina, where these lynchings were occurred. But we also know that lynchings also happen in the North. So when we have this conversation that people are they're playing history gymnastics and comparing, well, oh, like the North was so much better than the South, or the Civil War because Abraham Lincoln was like, man, you know what? Slavery is bad, dudes. Let's just let them go. Free them all. No, that's not how it works. And so it was bad for Black people everywhere in the United States of America. It didn't matter if you was living in the North. It didn't matter if you was living in the South. It didn't matter if you was living on the East Coast or the West Coast. Everywhere it was bad. And so when we talk to our family about, do they remember lynchings? And this is why it's such a visceral, emotional response from us, because that's a part of our history. And it's a part of our history because, once again, we live in a country where the lives of Black people are not valued. And so when you look at how lynchings were a whole event, it was like a shindig for white people. They brought their kids, their mamas, their uncles, like it was like a little party. The lynching, the gutting, the disembowelment, this was normal to them. And so when we look at this term, modern day lynching, as Minister Raheem's lecture was called, or we look at this term, the new noose, what does that evoke in you when you talk about the new noose? Now, if I just talked about the history, and I talked about how visceral that history is, how we can talk to our elders, and they have relatives who were lynched. And also, let's just also remember that just like now, lynchings were not random. There were a lot of business owners that were lynched. There were a lot of pastors and preachers that were lynched. There were a lot of community people who were doing community things like teaching people how to read and doing community programming among Black people. They were targeted and they were lynched. There's a lot of people who lost their property because white people stole their property and lynched them, and then forced the rest of the family to flee. This is not a Netflix documentary. This is not a fictional story. This is the reality of the history of Black people in America. And so now, when we look at 2026 and we look at everything that's going on with Black people, there's a saying, and it says, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Let me say that again. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. A couple years ago, Minister Raheem gave a prediction. And he said that in a couple of years, it'll be like we're traveling back in time. It'll be like we're going back in time, especially with the way that America deals with us as Black people. And you look at when we find ourselves in 2026, listen to that saying. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Just because we're in 2026, just because there's a lot going on and we're doing all of these amazing things, that does not mean that white people do not still call us niggers with a hard R. We're seeing it everywhere. It doesn't matter what part of the country you are in. If you're Black, you can't sit outside your house. You can't sit in your backyard. You can't walk your dog. You can't water your neighbor's plants. You can't be in the park. You can't go to the local convenience store. You can't take your kids to the water park. You can't do nothing. You can't even be at work. No matter what we do is a problem from them. The fact that we are still breathing is a problem from them. We could just be standing somewhere breathing, enjoying the sun. And it never fails that our existence, our very existence, is a problem for white people. And when I say a problem for white people, see, some of y'all got to get y'all life right. Because I'm tired of talking about this discussion, and we talk about this racial violence and this racial terror that America is pushing on Black people. And we talk about the role that white people play in it. And us individual Black people, we get caught up in individualism. And we bring up our comfortable whites, right? Our comfortable whites. You know, the whites that exist in Black spaces. You know, the baby mamas, the grandmamas, the grandfathers. You know, the co-workers, the comfortable whites, the people who you know in the nonprofit organizations that's out in the community. You know, your comfortable whites, your respectable whites, the people who Black people associate themselves with. When we talk about racial terror and we talk about white violence against Black people, we're not talking about just your individual people. We're talking about white people as a whole, and the fact that this is going over all across the country. It doesn't matter if you're in California. It doesn't matter if you're in Florida or Texas, Illinois, Indiana. It don't matter. It's happening everywhere. And some people say that, oh, things are getting worse. What's happening is because of social media and because everybody has a cell phone, we are seeing things in real time. We're finding out about things in real time that are happening to Black people. And that's important because when we talk about this new noose and we talk about modern day lynching, on one hand, because the technology in the hands of the people has shown us what the regular smegular news media is not showing us. And oftentimes, you have seen on Instagram, on TikTok, or Facebook, Black people who have brought stories to our attention that the news media later picked up, but would not have done so without Black people bombarding social media trying to find out what's going on. Now, in that statement that I said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Because in some aspects, it feels like we're repeating the past. And sometimes, like when we talk about, all of this political unrest, and sometimes, and we know there's a lot going on for Black people, it always is. But sometimes we have selective memory. It's just like, what was the Lindsey Graham, and how when he just died, all of these Black politicians were, giving comments and stuff, about his life. Now, I'm not talking about the Black politicians who were speaking the truth. I'm talking about the Black politicians who are sugarcoating things to get along. And the crazy thing is how people were surprised that he had a hidden Black daughter. We're not surprised, because once again, and we said this so many times, just because white people desire our bodies does not mean that white people view us as human beings. Just because your white daddy, your white mama, your white grandma, your white grandpa treat you good does not mean that's how they view Black people as a whole. And when we talk about things here at Toma Nation, we're talking about things that affect us as a people. And so when I say racial terror, what does that invoke inside of you? It's very visceral, just like lynchings, just like nooses. And so we have to look at when white people feel that they are in the climate that they can do anything to us wholesale and they can get away with it. And it's just not the white people. It's the non-Blacks as well. It's the Asians, the Latinos, everybody. We already have the example of that Asian man murdering Cyrus and the government saying it was okay. We already have the case with Nolan. We already have all of these examples. I had mentioned the example where I don't remember the state it was in, when the Black man was found dismembered with his testicles in his mouth, with his body hidden in the woods, after he was being chased by 3 cars of white people and him running to the police station for help, and they wouldn't help him, and he had to run off to try to get to his own safety. Like, when they see us and they feel like they can do anything to us, that's racial violence, because it's targeting us. And we have to be real about that. Now, Minister Raheem, when he talks about the tsunami of guns in our communities, and we had a campaign, Stop the Killing, Start the Building. And Toma Nation, the Temple of Mercy Association, has been around since the 90s, dealing with gun violence. And when we talk about, putting the guns up, we didn't say, go take your gun to the gun buy back and get a gift card, $100 gift card to Walmart or Best Buy. He said, put the guns up, because we're not supposed to be using guns on our people. But we also have to understand that we have a right to defend ourselves. When we are in these spaces, when white people are showing their whole behinds, we have the right to defend ourselves. Just like the white man who shot into the group of the Black family who was having a family reunion. And they had to shoot him to stop him. There was a whole big blow up about, was that the right move? Like the white man who was harassing the Black woman, and she kept telling him to move back, to get out of space, get out of her space. And she warned him that she was armed. And what did he do? Be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. And then what happened? Because she had a right to defend herself. So as Black people, when we look at racial violence and we look at this racial terror that's being instilled upon us, and that America is saying it's okay. It's okay to shoot black boys in the back. It's okay to hang black people. It's okay to drown us. It's okay to murder us. Right? This is the message that America is giving to the country. And this is why we talk about the new noose. Black people are still being hung from trees. This isn't anything new. It's still happening to this day. How many black people have they found hanging from trees in 2026 alone? Like the 16-year-old girl, and then the young lady who went to Florida for Juneteenth, who was so excited to go to Florida and celebrate Juneteenth, and then later found her hanging from a tree. I mentioned before, this has been happening. Remember, I can't remember his name, but there was this young black guy who was very vocal in Missouri. He was an activist. He was very well known. And they found him in his backyard hanging from a tree. This is something that is ongoing. And so when we look at where we stand in America, now we are seeing people being very vocal about racism, especially after the incident with Nolan. So now you have black people all across the country saying, if you live in a predominantly white community, do not have your black child go to spaces by himself with all white people. This is something that's being said across the country. And it's crazy that we're in this space in 2026 where black people have to warn other black people about how to exist in white spaces. And it's not just black people warning other black people. Have you noticed that white people are also warning black people not to go to these spaces with predominantly white people? Now, what does it mean where not only are your people warning you and telling you that this is not that time, this is not that season, like that, what's her name, Tamara, a couple years back when she was the only black person at that sleepover, and they found the face down in the backyard, and did nobody know what happened, and did nobody get charged? This is not the time to be going to white spaces by yourself. Minister even warned us. He said, if you're going out, don't just go out in a pair. Make sure you bring more people with you, especially if you're going to predominantly white spaces. Because this is about safety, but it's also about reality. Because we cannot continue to pretend that we have some kind of value to America where America values our lives. We cannot pretend that if you make a certain amount of money, if you have a certain amount of degrees, if you move into a suburb or if you move into a town and you get a nice big house with a pool and, green spaces and everything, that you're trying to do better for yourself and your family. We can't pretend that you also have to look at the safety and security of your family. And this is the reality that we find ourselves in. Now, how do you connect this to the new news? How do you connect this to modern day lynching? Back in the day, what would people do with their families about lynching? Starts with a W. They would warn their families, right? They would warn their families, oh, Don't go here. Don't be here after this time. Don't go on this street, especially if your family came from down south. It also happened up here as well in the north where we are. We're in Chicago, in Illinois, and Indiana, because we know what? Illinois had the most sundown towns out of any state of the entire country. So what does that say about how Illinois valued black life? Now, if you hear these stories where they talk about they warn the kids, don't go over here, where they warn the family, oh, you got to be in by this time. Like, doesn't it feel like that again? Were you warning your children to not go in these spaces with all white people when you have to warn them that people are being lynched, when kids are getting ready to go to college next month and many kids are driving across the country and they have to be on these roads and they're driving to these new universities and having to warn them how to exist in these spaces with lots of white people. Now, see, when we talk about these warnings, we have to look at, because lynchings never stop, because the noose never went away, this is something we should have been doing from the beginning with our children when we understand how America views us. Now, when you look at the gasoline that Trump has poured on white people to make them feel like, okay, they can be their real selves now, right? You know, under the Biden administration, everybody hiding. You know, everybody like, ooh, oh yeah, you know, black people, yeah, we cool. But now, under the Trump administration, white people are showing us how they really feel. And we need to see it. We are here for it. Show us how you really feel. There's a couple of social media influencers who follow posts when people make racist comments. And they actually go back and research the account that's making the racist comments. And do you know what's very interesting? And these accounts that are making racist comments, like one poster said that good, they killing these black kids because black boys need to die or something like that, something he said. Do you know why we need to see this? It's because when they pull up these accounts, who's standing in the photo on their account? Who's standing in the photo with them? Or is in a photo in the photos under their account? Black people. A lot of them are hugged up with black people. A lot of them are standing next to photos with black people, more than one. A lot of them are holding a black baby, or there's black babies in their photos. This is what we need to see, because these are the people who've been hiding all these other times, but now they feel comfortable to let that racist flag fly. And black people need to see this, because we have to understand we have no friends. And I know that that's hard for some black people to swallow. It's very hard. But if I can do it, so can you. This is coming from me. If you go on one of my social media pages that I still am too lazy to delete photos from, you see me hugged up with white people. You see me having dinner parties with white people, going to protests with white people, chilling with white people. And back when I used to drink alcohol, going to the bar with white people, I had white friends. I had close white friends. I used to go and spend days over their houses. I was baking birthday cakes for people. That's how entrenched with white people I was. But guess what? Everybody needs a wake-up call. When you come to the realization that in this country, on this planet, that for the powers that be, that a white person's life will always be worth more than the life of a black person. When you're in these spaces with white people and you see these white kids playing, white kids get to frolic and be worry free and have fun and eat their candy and ride their bikes and go to their stores and go to their schools safely. Do black children also have that same right? We should, right? But do we? No, we don't. And until we do, I'm still not going to be kikiing with white people. And you shouldn't be either. Because some of y'all, that work husband you got, you think it's all cool, and y'all kikiing on social media, and y'all, the people who you invite to the cookout, black people, do better. I'm so tired of y'all. And just because a white person may have a little rhythm, or just because a white person maybe know the difference between salt and other seasonings, they invited to the cookout. See, that's y'all problem. Stop focusing on your comfortable whites, because it may be your comfortable whites that's on social media talking about that your baby should be murdered. It may be your comfortable whites that's on social media laughing, talking about drowning a black boy. It may be your comfortable whites that's on social media who like, yeah, they still hanging. Is that okay? I don't think it is. We got to take some responsibility in this. And I know for some of y'all, that might be hard. Some of y'all, when I said that, y'all was like, ooh. Oh, I was about to say, I was about to use the name Ken, but I can't use the name Ken because it made me think of Barbie Ken, because we have Minister Kenneth, there are black Kens. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of a name. You know, yo Zach's, you know, those people who you think are cool, those allies, those are people you need to be looking at. And if you are in the inner city, no matter what inner city, if you're in Chicago, if you're in New York, if you're in Los Angeles, if you're in Houston, if you're in Miami, it don't matter. If you're in Atlanta, if you're in St. Louis, it don't matter what inner city. We know because black people being on the economic bottom. Oh, I didn't even realize it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to go for a couple more minutes. Now, we know because black people being on the economic bottom, we know that, I'm trying to say this in the most simple way. We know we have the prison industrial complex. We know we've had the prison industrial complex. We know that the prison industrial complex was created to do what? To create a class of slaves that the government and for-profit corporations can benefit off their bodies. That they can get them in there while they're young. That's why it's called the cradle to prison pipeline. That they can get them while they're young, while they're strong, while they're disease-free, and use them up and spit them out when they're old. We know that. We see the sentencing. We see how you can be somewhere and you can commit a nonviolent offense and you can get more time than I just saw this white man who raped multiple children, and he spent 100 and some days in jail, and they just let him go, and now he getting married. Make that make sense, because it's by design. That sentencing is by design. We are looking at corrupt judges, real life and in person in 2026. This is real, and this is the reality that we're dealing with. And so I said, if you would like a part 2 of this lecture, feel free to comment part 2 if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, if you would like more information about this lecture or any of our previous lectures, you can feel free to shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Now, I know I said a lot, and I know that the topic of lynching, talking about nooses, talking about racial violence, and I know that that's a touchy subject. But just like when Toma Nation, when we said we have worship, WARSHIP, every Sunday here in the Inglewood community of Chicago, Illinois, we're not saying worship, WORSHIP. We're saying worship, WARSHIP, because we are at war, and we are at war on all fronts. And this is why it's more important now, more than ever, for us to be able to come together and uplift our community together as a people, because we cannot be successful fighting a war, internal and external, at the same time. We can't be fighting our Black brothers and sisters where we're also fighting our enemy, because our Black brothers and sisters are not our enemy. They shouldn't be. But some of our Black brothers and sisters are moving in spaces where they are acting like our enemy, and they also need to be held accountable. And so the reason why I brought up the situation when I mentioned inner cities in America is because there is something that we don't talk about enough when we talk about this existence of these comfortable whites, and how our children get comfortable with white people instead of viewing them as they truly are. Now, one way that children get comfortable with white people is through the school system. It's through the teachers, who those children view those white teachers as their comfortable white person, right? The white person who lets them listen to their music, the white person who brings them food and gives them things, the white person who lets them comb their hair in class. These are all things. If you've ever been inside of a CPS school, I worked for a CPS school. Many of us have worked for CPS schools, or our children have gone to CPS schools. And we've seen this. And that's what allows our children to lower their guards and start to think that, oh, it's okay to be in these spaces. They join these groups and they go downtown and they go on these trips, these outside of school events. We need to be educating our children about who their enemy is. We need to be educating our children about what they should look out for. What if your child is on a field trip and they've gone somewhere and they're at a water park, they're at an amusement park, they're riding bikes, they've gone to visit universities on a college tour, and they're in some space where white people are harassing them? Are you educating them about what their response should be? Are you educating them about what they should do if a white person assaults them? I was watching a video where a white child was in a group of white children. A Black child was in a group of white children. They were riding their bikes, and a white man beelines it for the Black child and just started hitting them in the face. And the child is obviously stunned, but the white kids are just sitting there looking. Nobody's trying to go get help. Nobody's saying nothing. They just like, to me, it was almost like they was looking like, get him. This is our reality in 2026. And in addition to schools making Black children feel that they have these safe whites, these comfortable whites, it's also these nonprofit organizations in our community that have white staff. I will never understand how you can have an organization that gets millions of dollars in a black community, and the person running the organization is a white person. Or the person running the organization is a front for a white person or for a white group. Come on now. We're not stupid. We've been here, done that. Ain't nothing new under the sun. We know the nonprofit industrial complex. We know that there's white people in black communities all across America who go on vacation and send their kids to college and retire off the backs of black people. Just like these non-black businesses live their whole life. They can do investments, they can own property, they can go on vacation, they can send multiple children to college that they paid for off of the backs of black people. And these are the conversations that we need to have. And so I'm going to get ready to close out. But the title of my lecture was The New Noose. And if you would like a part 2 of this lecture, feel free to comment part 2. Or if you would like more information about any of our previous lectures, like the lecture 2 weeks ago that Minister Raheem did on modern day lynching, you can watch it on Facebook or YouTube. Or you can shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. If this lecture was beneficial to you and you would like to support us with a monetary donation on Cash App, you can send us a donation at Will. What's the Cash App? Oh, it's on the screen. Thank you so much, Brother Will. So our movement is totally grassroots. We don't receive any government funding. And we do a lot of things in the community. We just partnered with United Black American Progress Association and many other community organizations. And we organized a very robust Juneteenth celebration right here at 838 West Marquette Road. That we got great press from. The community enjoyed themselves. We gave away produce. We had community conversations about what's going on in our community and the world at large. And we have another event coming up in August for the International Marcus Garvey holiday, where we also feed the community and have conversations with the community, how we can join together and work together. We have edutainment. And so if you would like to join us and come out to meet us at the Toma Nation Live and learn more about who we are and what we're about and how we can truly join forces. Because see, this is the thing we have to understand. When we move in the same spaces, we don't got to dress alike. We don't got to talk alike. We don't got to listen to the same music. We don't got to watch the same TV shows. We don't even have to think alike. But as long as we can agree on the message, as long as we can agree on a plan to uplift our people, then we can move forward and be successful. And so I thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday, July 19th, 2026, for my lecture, The New Noose. Once again, if you would like to join us here at 838 West Marquette Road, we are here each and every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And you can always shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Thank you so much for joining us, and Black Power, Black Families.